Took me down, had me feeling alone. So long, darling. Right here and now, we can try this again. If you're in, I'm in, darling. I finally see what I need to be free. Fall from what I was led to, but no holding back. I've made up my mind. Seeing what's next, I'm not sure what I'll find. Holding the key firmly in my hands. I'm looking forward, I know where I stand. And this is it, I've nothing to lose. Now is the right time, I'm making my move.
power, infinite, infinite power, infinite, infinite power, 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 infinite, infinite, infinite power, infinite, infinite power, infinite, infinite power, 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 infinite power.
Infinite power. Infinite power.
Infinite power, infinite, infinite power, infinite, infinite power, 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 power.
Infinite power.
Infinite
everybody, and welcome to FTL here on a Saturday. After a nice day off, we do have two matches for you today. Starting off here in the Adept League, we do have the Adept Griffins at 5-4 against the Adept Hydras at 2-7. So not a whole lot on the line to play here for the Hydras, but the Griffins can get their playoffs spoiled here, or at least their chance at playoffs with a loss. I'm here joined by, you love him, you know him, he's from Britain, Rhino Boy.
I appreciate that introduction, Tubby. It's a pleasure to be with you on the casting booth. Can't wait to get this game started and see what's going on. We already have some very interesting team news.
Absolutely. We have an Origin call-up here for the Griffins. We have Cyprock and Swaggly coming up from Origin with the playoffs on the line. A very interesting thing to see here as we go ahead and hop into this one. Everyone's joining the teams. We do have the Griffins running Cyprock, who I do believe is their top salary player, and Swaggly, an Origin player, against Nortro and Infamous, their B lineup for the Hydras. Let's see if the Hydras can play spoiler in this one as we get into the game.
Just a quick fact check. I believe Cyprock is their second highest sal. I believe Silfra is the highest sal from the Griffins. That's not a great start for them though, as the Hydras take the lead early on. Kickoff goal, 5 seconds gone, and Infamous finds the back of the net.
Yeah, and right there, Swaggly missing it. Maybe a little nervous to be coming up from Origin here, playing against the big boys, in quotation, because this is only the second highest league, or I guess second lowest league in the FTL. But, you know, got to be nervous here coming up playing in the Adept League with playoffs on the line here as Infamous takes it in the corner. Looks to play downfield. Swaggly coming in from 50, misses. Good shot on by Infamous, saved by, or put away by Cyprock. Cyprock looking for a shot in midfield, cut off by Infamous. Norto,
there he goes.
Looking for a shot. Great shot there by Cyprock.
Yeah, wonderful strike. Fires it into the top right-hand corner, really nice. And that's, we talk about the nerves, right? When you get called up to a higher league, it doesn't matter whether you're going up from Origin to Adept, Adept to Expert, or any of the above. It's always going to be a bit nerve-wracking, but it does show that you're the GM, the captain of that team is, you know, he's been watching you play. He sees that there's potential. So Swaggly has nothing to worry about here, I don't think, because he's been called up for a reason. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes, and that might settle his nerves now that they're on the board.
Absolutely. Excited to see how this plays out here as both Griffins get their ankles broken there on that play. What a wonderful goal here from Infamous. Just showing a little ground game here.
Yeah, absolutely. Really nice. Played it around the back for Cyprock. It's a wonderful little hit past him actually. Bit of a fake out. Maybe Cyprock thought they were going near post, but could be a kickoff goal for the Griffins. But it's saved by Nortro Rivers, and they're able to bring it away. The Hydras.
Absolutely. As we hop back in the action here, Norto got it over Cyprock, and Infamous takes it from him. A little friendly fire there, but I'm sure Norto doesn't mind. Got the goal. Little flick. I don't think Cyprock was expecting the handles there from Norto, and Infamous able to put it away.
See, Tubby, I disagree. I think if I'm Nortro, I am absolutely raging that goal got taken from me, because that was a lovely little flick over the back of the Griffins defense, and unfortunately he's only going to get an assist for it. But I think in the grand scheme of things, he's not going to mind too much. I mean, getting a win on the board here for the Hydras is more about pride than it is any playoff spot, but there is a lot of pride on the line, and they also are able to take playoffs away from the Griffins with this win. So I'm sure they're fired up for this one.
Well, as they say, Rhino, there is no INT, but there is a U in upset, and that's what you are about that goal steal right there. As we hop back in the action, Cyprock looking for the clear here. Puts one up downfield, looking for another touch. Down into the corner, cut off by Infamous. Big boom down to the Griffins corner. Cyprock looking for the handles, misses it. Pass, plays it midfield. Infamous looking for pass midfield here for Nortro. Cyprock gets it round one. Oh, never mind. I hold my tongue there.
This is a rough one for the Griffins at the moment. It's quite clear to see that there's not quite the chemistry that we're used to seeing from this Griffins team with Cyprock and Swaggly, with Swag being brought up from Origin. So they've not been able to build up that team chemistry, and it's showing right now. I mean, Cyprock probably didn't need to go for that boost there, needed to get back on defense. Swag Alley was nowhere to be seen, but he's going to go up the other end and try and score anyway. But you know, it's very, very clear that these Hydras have played together before. They know the rotations they need to make. They know where they need to be on the pitch. Same can't be said for these Griffins, and they need to figure it out in the next few games. Otherwise, that's playoff hope's gone.
Absolutely. I think you see Swaggerly probably play a little bit more aggressive here if they want to have a chance. Really just playing way back on defense. You know, he's got to show some confidence here. He got called up. He's in a difficult spot. I mean, he's got nothing to lose. Going out there and making a couple whiffs it's no better than being too unaggressive and killing offensive chances and really allowing the Hydras to have space here. I mean, it's really what's hurting their team right now. It's just Siprock versus the Hydras a lot of these times. I mean, if they're going to have any chance here, he's got to stop playing a lot better as Norco takes this one into the corner. Misses it. Cyprock looking to take control. He gets it past
That's
one.
unnecessary.
Cyprock's got an open net here. Can he take advantage of it? He does miss here. Swaggerly was demoed, so he's not going to be able to score the follow-up. Does miss it here in midfield as Norco looks to take control. Swaggerly again misses. And a difficult situation here for Cyprock with the 2-on-1. Good cutoff though. Infamous plays it up into the wall. Into the midfield. Norco sends it down to the Griffin's quarter. Swaggerly looking for the touch. I mean, these nerves are really getting to him. You're seeing it in every touch. He's just driving around the ball. Stuff you usually wouldn't see from him as the Hydras or as the Griffins are fighting for the playoffs here. Cyprock's got to be a little bit panicked here, not really having the greatest teammate right now, and it's not Swaggerly's fault. He is playing up. He's just got to calm his nerves a little bit here as he looks for a shot on goal.
Oh, unlucky.
Saved into the corner.
Yeah, it's really tough for Swag Alley right now. I mean, as you say, playing up, your nerves are all over the place. Maybe it's game one jitters, right? Maybe we'll see a little bit of an improvement after a little bit of a conversation. But for now, the Hydras are absolutely starting on these Griffins, and it will be interesting to see if they're able to come back.
Alrighty, well, I've got a little bit of an update here. Not something that I knew, but Swaggerly is indeed the lowest salary player in FPL at 6.1. So definitely an uphill battle here for the Griffins. I was not aware of that before this. So I mean, at this point, Swaggerly, just go out there and do what you can. All right, just have fun. That's really what he's got to look for in this game. But for Siprock here, it's going to be a lot of heavy carrying if he does want to end up winning this series. Swaggerly, I mean, he's very unexperienced. You know, he's played a full season, but 6.1. I mean, that's a lot of salary to overcome here in this series. Hydras look to take this first game 1-4 or 4-1. Excuse me. As Siprock looks for the feeling here cut off.
Yeah, and it's really tough to call a game like that, right? I mean, certainly from a color perspective, because we know, well, now with that information about Swag Alley being, you know, a little lower ranked than most people in the FDL, you know, to get that call up to this Griffin side is, you know, it's a really big experience for them, and that's where I think it's going to be relatively tough, certainly for the next few games, because as you say, Cyprock might have to do a little bit of carrying, but also, you know, call it straight, Cyprock didn't have the best of games that particular game. You know, few defensive mistakes, a few little errors here and there. He has to play perfect in order to win this game, and right now that is not happening.
Alrighty. Type in here. We're going to have a little bit of delay here before the next game. Cyprock has asked that we do not start the game right away. So we're going to go ahead and start. If you could put that in the chat for the Hydras, so the Hydras now.
Yeah, no problem. There you go. Nice. So that gives us a little bit of time to kind of digest what happened in that game one and talk about it a little bit. So obviously we know that the Griffins are not playing at 100%, but there needs to be some kind of discussion now that's happening between Cyprock and Swag Alley in order to be able to start moving in this next game. Cyprock needs to tell Swag Alley exactly what he expects, exactly where he wants them to be, and kind of lay the law down a little bit as far as this game goes. Like, right, okay, we might be playing with someone who is a little more inexperienced, a little more certainly inexperienced with the game. So, you know, there are ways of making that work for you. I mean, we've seen it a few times, right? Where I think it was last week that Tyler stepped up from expert or even adept to elite, and he was perfectly serviceable in that because they had a game plan. They knew exactly what it was that they wanted to do, and they executed the game plan. Okay, it might not have worked out for them. They might not have won the game, but Tyler still made it look like he was an elite player playing under that that brand, which was incredible to see. And I think there needs to be a similar thing happen now with Cyproc and Swag Alley. They need to have that conversation. They need to be talking, right, okay, maybe Swag Alley is not the best on the ball, but maybe go for demos, maybe go for the more physical plays, maybe sit back a little bit more, maybe you know, don't take too many risks. There are ways of dealing with that kind of situation in a team that I think need to happen right now if they're going to be able to do that. But seems like we are going to have an elongated pause here, so I do actually want to take it back to the Hydras, right? Because they still played a great game, Tubby.
Absolutely, they have. Not really a well-rounded team game. I don't know if they knew what type of advantage they had, but really did well in maintaining the pace and keeping the ball in the Griffins' half, taking advantage of the mistakes that were made by the Griffins. As it looks like we are getting a substitution.
Mid-game sub. Yeah, absolutely. Seems like.
I mean, it's
Seems like-
another Origin player. It's Angel of the Bronx. It's a little unorthodox, but I mean, at this point, we'll allow it, I guess. I'm not
Well,
100% sure on what the rules are doing here, but I mean, it's still an Origin player, so I don't feel that it's anything to be a worry about. As Angel of the Bronx is a little bit better of a player here. I do believe he is like a 10-2 salary.
Tubby, I'm gonna be real with you. The decision to make that call is way above our pay grade. We just cast the game right now. We it is not in our hands as to what is happening in this particular game. But here we go. So it seems that Angel of the Bronx is subbing in mid-game for Swag Alley. Fair play to Swag Alley. They came in that first game. They played they played as well as it seemed like they could. And unfortunately, it seems like there was another sub waiting to come in who Cyproc maybe prefers. So we'll see how this goes. But it's another Origin player playing up. So we'll have to see if that affects it and if there's better chemistry between Cyproc and Angel of the Bronx than there was between Cyproc and Swag Alley.
Go ahead and let them know to join up, and
Yeah,
then we'll
got
get this game started.
Absolutely. We will be making sure to bring this game to you, and here they come. Griffins Hydras game 2. Hydras take the first game convincingly, but with a different lineup, can the Griffins bring this series back to a 1-1? We're gonna see now.
Absolutely excited to hop into it, see what the difference here. Angel of the Bronx is a much higher caliber player here, still playing up, but I see the Griffins have a much better chance in a much more even series here as Cyproc gets a little cheeky touch past Infamous here and puts the Griffins up 1-0.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice early start for Cyproc, and I mean that actually does quite a lot for the mental, right? Because you've just come from a game where let's call it how it was. You've got pretty dumpstered. Hydras played really well. They made sure they put all of the pressure on, and Cyproc getting that early goal now means that he can kind of relax a little bit, make those kinds of plays like he has just done there, over the top of a defender, gets the second touch, and that's the Cyproc that we know and love from the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Just, I think the Hydras are a little caught off guard here, not really expecting the Griffins to come out with a fight here with the substitution happening and the break. Maybe the Hydras are a little rusty, maybe losing a little bit of that momentum they had coming out of game 1 here. Really have to bring it back together here really quickly if they want to have a chance in this game, as the Griffins have put up too quickly. As Cyproc takes this in the middle, looking for a pass, cut off by the Hydras. Bronx looking to take control. Infamous takes it off his head, looking for Norcho here underneath Cyproc, and that is a great way to answer out real quickly 3 goals within the first 37 seconds here. A great match going on between the Griffins and the Hydras.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the Hydras needed, right? They needed something that is just going to kind of give them that way back into the game, settle those kind of second game nerves now that we've had a little bit of an elongated break. So we should now see both teams functioning at pretty high level you would expect in order for the next 4 minutes 10 seconds of this game. So we could be in for a bumpy ride, folks. Could be a very, very interesting one.
Absolutely could be bumpy indeed, as Angel of the Bronx finishes off that great pass there from Cyprock. I mean, the Griffins are looking to take this one, as playoff indications are on the line here for them, and they're putting up a great showing here with the sub of Angel for Swagley here in Game 2, 3-1 early against the Hydras.
Yeah, really nice from the Griffins, and I talked about it while we were in between games. You know, do Cyprock and Angel have a little bit more of a rapport, a little bit more team play? And it seems like they do, but the Hydras keep coming back, and that's a really nice goal from Norcho, reading that wall hit off of Angel, and bringing it back to only a 1-goal deficit. So great play from both teams. This game could go down to the wire already.
Absolutely. Great way to answer back there for the Hydras, as again Cyprock's looking to strike, cut off by Infamous. Bronx looking to cut off Norcho, but Norcho's going to take control here in the midfield. Maybe look for a flick,
nice.
gets it over one. Look for the second touch, cut off by Angel. Angel's taking up the sidewall here, looking for a shot on goal. Misses a little bit, but he does get a great demo there on Infamous, allowing Cyprock to put another one in 4-2 for the Griffins. Not wanting to give up this 2-goal lead, striking quickly again. We have 6 goals in the first minute 30 in this series. I guess minute 33.
Yeah, and what a different game to Game 1, right? The Hydras still look like they are performing to a similar standard, right? They're playing well, they know where each other is. That time they just got caught out by a demo play from Angel, which was really, really nice. He knew exactly what he wanted to do there, and made it work absolutely perfectly. So let's not take away from the fact that the Hydras are still playing an okay game, although a little bit of miscommunication there. But they're going to need to do just a little bit more if they want to get back into this game now that Cyprock and Angel are in the server.
Absolutely. Really got to work on what I've been noticing is a lot of times they're getting caught out of position here. Maybe a little surprised by the speed in which the Griffins are playing. So really got to settle down on defense and be a little bit more accurate. It's a great pass there from Angel to Cyprock. I mean, they're just putting on a scoring clinic right now. And if you're the Hydras here, I mean, right there, Norcho just cut his angle too strong. He should have stayed facing the goal here, looking for the challenge. And there's a great team play here, as we've seen so far from the Griffins, to put them ahead as we hop back into it here. Norcho going to take it on the side, look for a quick, big booming goal. Misses, looks for the double touch, misses. Infamous unable to put it in the back of net. Norcho cuts it off again. Again, just keeping this pressure against the Griffins is fatal mistake there from Angel of the Bronx. That ball was not going to go into the goal. Backflips and put it in for Norcho. 5-3 to the Griffins still, but I mean that one's got to hurt, putting the Hydras back into scoring or striking distance.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one, but Angel's got to just shake it off. I mean, own goals happen, you know, mistakes take place. You've just got to make sure that you can dust yourself off, and it's going to be quite hard when you're getting demoed on your own goal line, and the Hydras score straight off there.
Absolutely, another 2 quick ones. A lot of quick scoring here in this game, as we've seen in a lot of the Griffins series. They play very strong offense. They do end up lacking on defense a lot of the times. They're a great demo play by the Hydras there. Put that one in the back of the net. On kickoff here, Infamous sends it into the Griffins
another
corner.
demo.
Grabs another demo. Really getting aggressive here in this game. We've seen an uptick in boost in this game from the first one. Is just a great pass, but Norco is unable to get around to it. Plays it back into the middle, looking for Infamous. He gets the touch. It's going in, saved by Angel.
Yeah,
Norco touches it again. Absolutely making up for his mistake. Great save there on a great team play here by the Hydras. They're really doing a great job of keeping the pressure on to the Griffins here. As another one there for Norco Rivers off a great play. That pressure was just unrelenting. Right?
Yeah, We often say, certainly on the custom guest that I'm a part of, that you keep shooting and eventually want to go in, right? So keeping that pressure on that Griffin's backline, which we know can be a little bit shaky, is really, really positive from the Hydras, and they are just going to keep doing that. But the Griffins need to try and alleviate this pressure. They need to try and get the ball out of their own half, and it's going to be difficult to do that when both of the Hydras are kind of pushing up. But Cyprock does it beautifully there, and Infamous can't do anything about that particular shot. So the Griffins retake the lead, and it's as we say, you know, get the ball out of the half, get it over the top of the player in midfield, and you've got a chance.
Absolutely. Just a pinch off of Norco right there. Miss cheating up to play that pressure style that we've seen, and it cost them right there. Just an easy goal there for Cyprock on the unexpected pinch off of Norco as he takes this off the kickoff. Sets the center here. Nobody's there, but Angel does end up getting back. I didn't see him. Infamous had the chance there, but was unable to take advantage. Plays this one in the midfield. Cut off by Angel. Gets it around him. Cyprock gets this one cut off, looking to take advantage of the Hydras there as they were pushed up a little bit. Norco gets it past Angel. Right into it. And we've seen this a lot, another counter-attacking goal. Both these teams are just being so aggressive, allowing for easy goals. A lot of times, there's not a lot of work put into these goals. It's just taking advantage of the mistakes from the aggression of the other teams at both sides.
Yeah, it seems like whoever wins the 50 gets a goal, right? Unless the ball is deep in territory already. But Norcho's going to come up here. You know, the Hydras have a 2v1 now. Cyprock's in the middle of the pitch. He's kind of in no man's land, and we see that quite a lot, especially with Infamous going for the boost right at the other end of the pitch there. So Angel's going to try and get this one back in. Norcho's off in midfield as well, and these rotations just seem a little bit lacking from both teams. I mean, Cyprock's going to have to deal with that one-on-one. He's not able to. Infamous converts, and now all of a sudden the Hydras are ahead.
Well, this has been a crazy game here. I do believe at one point they were down 3 goals, and now they were back up by 1 here. I mean, it's just all offense in this game. I mean, there's no D in this game going on right now, as both teams are just peppering the net on either side. A real stark difference from the first game when we only have 5 goals. We're 13 right now with 30 seconds left. But I wouldn't count the Griffins out of it. I mean, both teams played extremely well. And heck, if they scored 10 goals, you know, even in this, not 10 goals, without the 10 goals, I wouldn't even be surprised with how much scoring is going on. As Norco plays this one across the middle. Angel looking to take this one. Does miss. Cyprock again looking for the touch. Plays it towards the net. Norco takes time here. Big boom out. Angel cuts that off. Norco going to play it off the sidewall here. Looks for another touch. Cyprock is right there. Ooh. Good shot attempt there. Hydras does have a test here with 0 seconds. Angel keeps it up. Puts it towards the net, but does end up bumping into Cyprock. And the Hydras do take this game here. 7-6, taking a 2-0 lead here in a game that looked like they probably didn't have a chance. A great comeback here as Norco puts up 1,000 bomb here. 6 goals, 1 save, 100% shooting efficiency here. Just an all-around great game there for Norco, putting his team on his back and winning that game here, going to a decider here.
Yeah, those stats are completely uncalled for and outrageous. I mean, you know, you see those kind of scores from some of the elite players in FDL. So fair play to Norcho for having such a good game. I mean, Cyprock did have a good game as well. 5 goals, 6 shots, 1 assist, 1 save. He was involved in a lot. But I mean, you got to give it up to the Hydras staying in that game, even when they were, I think, 5-2 down at one point, is really massive for them, especially when they have nothing really to play for. You know, you have to remember that. So they're giving it their all, even when their season they know is over after this week, moving into All Stars, and it's a really impressive thing to see. I mean, Cyprock and Angel are giving it their all as well. This is an all-out brawl as far as the kind of midfield of the pitch goes, and whoever wins that midfield battle seems to be getting the goals. And at the minute, it's the Hydras. The Griffins now need to be perfect, absolutely perfect, if they are to keep their hopes of playoffs alive.
Absolutely. Got to go for the reverse sweep here. And with an Origin player, it will be more difficult than it usually would be. But he did play well in that last game. I also do want to give a shout out to Infamous in that last game. He did have 5 assists, almost, almost assist on every single one of those Northern goals. And I do believe the other one, he got a key demo to
Yes,
get that goal.
true.
Basically 6 assists. So I mean, he played very well there, very great in that supporting role there for the Hydras as we hop into this one. Kickoff going ahead, going back towards the corner of the Hydras. A big awkward bounce here. Norto going to go up for it. Cyprock also, but they both miss here. We're going to call it
Angel?
a double tag. As great pass there by Angel. Cyprock unable to get up for it. Gets a little touch. Norto going to go up for it. Cut off by Angel. Playing a little bit more aggressive here than one might expect. Again, a great cutoff here. We're seeing a lot of good midfield play here. Further, Griffins starting off early. As that touch goes over the head of Norto and Cyprock puts it in the back of the net here. 1-0. Again, scoring quickly here for the Griffins, taking the lead.
Okay, so that's the conversation that needs to happen in the first place, right? Cyprock has now told Angel, attack the ball. I don't care where it is, just attack it. Just win those 50s, or at least put pressure on these Hydras in order to try and get some pressure on the ball. And that's exactly what he's done in that first 30 seconds, and it's worked out for them. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out this time, because he doesn't get the hit off the wall, and that puts Cyprock in a bit of a weird place after going for the boost. But that seems to be essentially what Angel's task in this game is. So we'll see if that works. That strategy works.
It looks like this is going to be very similar to the last game when we got all offense, and there is some defense, but not as much as one might like here. Is this going to be another high-scoring game? It would seem, as the Hydras look to take advantage again here, getting it past both of the Griffins, but unable to take advantage here as Cyprock puts this one downfield, looking for a shot. Gets it on goal. Norto is sitting right in the correct place. Angel follows up a little too high. Norto going to take control here. Cyprock going to look to cut him off. Does so. Angel puts it back towards Infamous. Infamous looking to take control here. Got a little space, maybe looking for a flick. Gets it over one. But Angel is going to be able to clear this down to Norto, who's going to send it back. A little ping-pong action here. A little Forrest Gump ping-pong action here, one might say. As Infamous puts this one on net, it looks like. Great save there by Angel. Off to the side. Cyprock going to close one there by Norto. Cyprock looks to make it clear, but Norto puts it back across. Down in the corner, Norto River. Going to maybe play a little back pass here, grabs boost. Angel looking for the shot, cut off by Norto. All the way across, a good back and forth action here. Really giving a break in the scoring here between these two, maybe settling down a little.
Yeah, and it's those kind of plays from Cyprock right there, right? He thought about going for the 50, but then realized, you know what, that's probably not our best bet. We need to get back on D. I'm gonna kind of leave the ball, and I'm gonna drop back. And that's the kind of play we didn't see a lot in Game 2 that is really good to see now, that they've kind of realized that we're not just going to win every 50, we're not just going to, beat these guys for pace. So really nice to see a little bit more of a defensive mind coming in from the Griffins. It might not pay off here as it's a 2v1 against Angel, but that is going to miss wide left, and the Griffins might be able to get back under control. But nice to see them have a bit more of a tactful approach.
Absolutely. Really slowing down the pace of play. Well, not pace of play, but the pace of scoring, I guess one might say. It's still been a fast-paced game here. Really slowing down the scoring as both teams are playing a little bit more careful in the midfield. Not quite so balls, or I think so. Not quite so to the wall the whole time.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
As Hydras look to take it into the midfield here, Norto with a good little touch, trying to get it over Cyprock, but a big boom coming out here. Infamous going to have to make a nice little touch here, slows it down maybe a little bit early there in his own half. Gets the corner boost in front of Cyprock though, as Norto's able to get it clear here. Gets it over Angel, maybe looking for a pass here, looking for his teammate. Teammate at the far side, a nice little touch. Cyprock is able to cut it off though. A great save there from Cyprock, as that most likely would have been a goal. As Angel takes this in the midfield, looks for the flick, cut off by Norto. Cyprock plays it in the corner, Norto misses. Cyprock gets a second touch, Infamous. A little awkward here in the midfield. Is he going to be able to get up to it? He is, as the Griffins were just a little bit out of place for that touch right there. A little bit too low. A little scuffle here in the corner. Norto cuts it off.
Oh, there it is.
Over one, back of the net. Great play there from Norto. Ending up the scoring drought, the longest scoring drought we have seen in this series. Low scoring game here, very contrasting to the previous game, as the Hydras, who are on game point, are looking to close this one out with a 2-1 lead.
They are, and at the minute they're on track to do that. Just a few too many kind of rotational mistakes coming out from the Griffins. There's another one. Cyprock and Angel, neither of them able to get back in net. It's now 3-1 to the Hydras, and this could be a sweep in favor of the Hydras. I mean, not many people would have predicted that before a goal was kicked today. So really interesting to see how the styles now have changed, how kind of this is working in the Hydra's favor, and could see them taking this entire series.
Yeah, just saw the Griffins pull out the fake cable here as they're getting a little desperate. As with a loss here, they're not out of the playoffs, but they are very, very. They might actually be out of the playoffs. They will be 5-5, and there's potentially about a dozen teams in. As it's a great goal there for Angel, getting them back 2-3. There's potentially like 4 or 5 teams who are going to be 5-5 at the end of the season. So, I mean, they're not out of it, but it really hurts their chances if they aren't able to come back and win this game here. Looking for the reverse sweep. And that's a great start right there. 45 seconds to get another one on the board, and possibly a second to win the game or take it.
Oh, here it is.
Here it is. Great kickoff. It's not the shot you want to see out of Cyprock. You know, want to see something in the top corners there. Ends up rolling across. Really got to see them press the advantage here. Cyprock looks to take it off the wall. Puts it in the midfield. Unable to get another piece of it. Northrop cuts it off. Seconds running off the clock here for the Griffins. Precious seconds, that is. As they get it past one, maybe look for the midfield pass here. A nice little bounce going for the bump. Cyprock up for it. Good shot, but Northrop just able to get a hold of it. Angel cuts it off again. Cyprock puts it over. Maybe their last chance here. Angel's going to look for the shot. Just another weak shot here. And that's really what ended up hurting him in this game. They had some great opportunities, but unable to get the ball off the ground, allowing the Hydras to, not even have to really sweat for the saves on those goals, as they will end up sweeping the Griffins here. Unfortunate for the Griffins having to use an Origin players, but a great showing from the Hydras, especially in that last game. 6 saves coming out for the Hydras, and that was the big difference in the game.
Yeah, a huge difference in the game, and the Hydras were the ones that were able to adapt and make it so that their defense was their biggest asset in the game. And you can see that from the 6 saves that they made, right? So the fact that the Hydras were able to realize, oh, hang on a minute, we shouldn't go all out. We shouldn't go all out on attack. We should do some defensive work, which neither team was particularly doing at the start of this game, means that that they're able to run out 3-0 winners over the playoff hopeful Griffins, who maybe are more praying than hopeful right now with that result.
Yeah, absolutely. Great result here for the Hydras, and unfortunate for the Griffins as puts a damper in their playoffs hope. We will be looking to get them in here for an interview just in a moment. But for the Hydras here, a great way to finish the season. It didn't go the way that they wanted. Only 3-7 on the season, but you like to end it with a win. It's good for morale. Not throwing out their top lineup here either. They're able to get a win with their B lineup. But a spectacular game out of them. We saw them win in many different ways. 4-1 the first game, a nice dominating win. Having to come back in that second game, 7-6 win there for the Hydras, and in that last game, a good defensive performance, winning that game 3-2. But they definitely, had to make adjustments, especially to how the Griffins were playing. Griffins came out very aggressive in that second game, and the Hydras at first were unable to keep up with them, and they were able to make adjustments and take advantage of that strong play style with a lot of counterattacks that put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, and that's exactly it, right? I what came in was a lot of you could see it was rushed from the Griffins. There wasn't a huge amount of communication. They were struggling to get their offense kind of working in the way that they wanted, and the Hydras noticed that, and they took advantage of that, and they said, right, if they start coming at us, maybe we will concede 1 or 2 goals, but what we will do more often than not is we will be able to make those saves, and we will be able to go up the other end of the pitch, and we will have either a 2-on-1 or a 2-on-0. And that's exactly what happened most of the time. They were able to make those plays and those adjustments, as you said, which makes it so that they were able to win out this game. But really, really positive showing from the Hydras, and one that they can take into next season, and kind of build on. I imagine that's kind of what they're trying to look to do. But We'll see if we can get them in now. I still don't think I have the ability to move people into this channel, so either Tubby or Ponesy, if you could do the honors, please. Thank you. Welcome to
Alrighty
the
then.
stream, Norcho. It's a pleasure to see you. How do you feel after that game?
You know, it was a good way to end the season. You know, we're real happy with the way we played. Yeah, made some mistakes, but I thought we kind of recovered well and gathered ourselves, and we're able to you know, play the way we wanted.
Absolutely, and an absolutely great game out of you in that second game, in that comeback victory,
Mm.
7-6. You did end up with 6 goals in that game, 1,000 points. Infamous was playing really well off of you in that game as well. You guys did get bum rushed a little bit early, maybe not expecting the change of pace with Angel coming in for Swaggly. Talk me through that game. What was going on? Were you guys caught off guard by the change and the pace of play they were having? And what did you guys do to end up coming back in that game?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely kind of got hit in the mouth pretty early. And you know, like I said, we were just like gathered ourselves and reassessed how we wanted to play the game, and then you know, Infamous just dropping dimes left and right, making it real easy for me. Yeah, it felt real good to kind of like not get too upset with like kind of trailing. We were down like 5-2 at one point, and then just always believing that that we had the time on our side to make a good comeback.
And a good comeback
Comeback,
was
and
indeed made.
absolutely, it was a great comeback, and it was very fun to watch. I mean, you won 3 entirely different games in this series. The first game was, it was a little bit easy for you guys playing against Swaggerly. No offense to Swaggerly, but he has a 6.1, one of the lowest salary, if not the lowest salary in FPL. So, and then come back, get bum rushed, play an offensive mastermind game where 13 goals, and then in the last game, you guys had 6 saves, a very defensively led game, winning 3-2. Very interesting series. You don't really see series that have such different tales of the tapes in every game that way. Feels good for you guys to get this win at 3-7. Not the season you're looking for, but how does it feel to knock potentially the Griffins out of the playoffs with that win?
You know, I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's too fun to play spoiler. You know, not out here to ruin anybody's night or anything. But you know, we got to play for our own pride. This season definitely didn't go the way we wanted. We had a fair few forfeits, just kind of couldn't get the team together. You know, week in and week out. So it was good to kind of just get back for the end of the regular season and get a good win under our belts.
Absolutely. Anything else from you, Rhino?
No, I think you covered everything. Yeah, just a little bit of a tough season for the Hydros, but based on that performance, I'm sure you guys will be absolutely fine moving on. So absolutely no problems at all. Great win.
Thank you.
Absolutely great win. And before we go, I'd like to give you a shot to make call outs, shout outs, whatever you want to do, say whatever you want, give you the last word here.
No, I had a lot of fun this season. You know, a lot of good competition. You know, it's I don't know. I don't have anybody in particular to shout out, but we had a fun season nevertheless. And it's the whole league kind of makes that happen. You know? Everybody you play against, play with, everything.
Absolutely, and that's what we look for here in the FPL. Just a lot of fun here, good competition, great sportsmanship. That's what I like to see here from you, Norcho. As we're going to go ahead and end this stream, we do have another match coming up after this at 10 o'clock here. And this is Tubby Boy signing out for me and Rhino Boy. Have a great night.
to, but no holding back. I've made up my mind. Seeing what's next, I'm not sure what I'll find. Holding the key firmly in my hands. I'm looking forward, I know where I stand. And this is it, I've nothing to lose. Now is the right time, I'm making my move. I wanna hide now. You
moments fall back into place. All I wanna do is to make you stop and love me. How can I be blue when you catch me in these feelings like okay. I love you, I do need you, I do love you, I do need you. I love you, I do need you. I love you, I do need you. I love you, I do need you, I do love you, I do need you. I love you, I do need you. I love you, I do need you. All I wanna do is to put my arms around you and watch these moments fall back into place. All I wanna do is to make you stop and love me. How can I be blue when you catch me in these feelings like okay. I love you, I do. I need you, I do. I love you, I do. I need you. I love you, I do. I need you. I love you, I do. Need you. I love you, I do. Need you, I do. I love you, I do. Need you. I love you, I do. Need you. I love you, I do. Need you.
Hello, Frontier Doubles League. It is your boy, Rhino Boy 11, and I am here on this cast for a very, very exciting Expert League game. And I am joined on the casting booth by none other than the guy who took over FDL Central from me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to welcome Debbie onto the casting desk. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for that lovely introduction. I'm I'm really excited
Always.
about tonight's match. Expert League. It's my bread and butter right here, and this is such an important match right here with like huge playoff implications.
Oh, massive. Absolutely massive implications here tonight because, as we well know, the winner of this Hydras versus Seagulls game, they've booked their spot, Debbie.
Yep. Yep. One win here. Whoever comes out the winner of this match right here is going to the playoffs as the numbers 3 seed for the Courage Conference and Expert League. So both teams need to bring their A game.
Or they need to be in their A, B, C, D, E, F, all the way down to Z games if they're going to get this dub. And we will see who is able to do so. We have KJ and Fragrance playing for the Hydras today. We have Jorgen and Drax playing for the Seagulls. Should be a close game. Should be really, really exciting. Without further ado, let's jump into it as Jorgen has control in that left-hand corner, but he's trying to get it out. KJ's going to be able to bring this one away. A little bit of a flick, trying to get it over the top of Drax. Instead, just drives straight into him and says, see you later, get out of my server. Fragrance trying to do the same to Drax again, just as he respawns. Have some mercy on this man. He's already dead. Jorgen bringing the ball forwards on his left-hand side, but he's going to get stopped by KJ with a nice 50 win, and KJ's going to be able to pick this ball up as well. Jorgen is there with the physical play, though. Kicks KJ away, says, not in my house. And now the Hydras are able to get back control of the ball. Drax bringing this one around the corner. KJ has to be careful, and he is very careful, playing on the wall. Now he might be able to try and find his teammate, or he's going to try and get a flick over the top of Jorgen. It was a bit of a bait. He tried to get it under him, but unfortunately couldn't get the eventual shot on target. Now Drax is trying to get a little flick over the top of Fragrance, but that's great defense from Fragrance, but he's unable to prevent the second shot from Jorgen von Strangle, and the Seagulls take a 1-0 lead after 52 seconds of gameplay.
Yeah, that was a wonderful follow-up there from Jorgen. You know, Fragrance in an awkward position, having to play some shadow defense right there, and KJ also on the retreat, trying to get there in time. Wasn't able to get there fast enough to prevent that shot.
Absolutely. So we start with a new game state as KJ's trying to get this one past Drax, but Drax, that is fantastic defense from him, and now Jorgen's going to be able to bring this one forward. He flies up into the air. He's looking for that top left-hand corner, but Fragrance is going to be there to make the save. KJ's up now. He tries to get this one over the top of Drax. Can Drax get there? He can just. That one looked like it might be dipping in, but the Seagulls defense is able to hold strong. It's a double commit from the Hydras, and the Seagulls are able to convert. They double their lead to 2-0.
That's going to be an easy one for the Seagulls. Just the Hydras overcommitting just a little bit, and Jorgen was able to take the ball nice and cleanly downfield. No sweat on his brow.
I desperately want to know what the comms were like there as Drax was coming in. He definitely wanted that goal steal, but Jorgen said no in the end. I think it would have been quite an amusing point in the Discord. But here we go then. Hydras need a response, and they need it now as Jorgen tries to hit this one off the back, maybe trying for that double tap, but Fragrance is going to be able to bring this one away on the left-hand side. He's not able to get that hit off the side wall, though. KJ needs to play some defense. Drax got this one in the air. KJ's going to be able to get up, and he's just able to get up in time. It might not matter, though, as Fragrance isn't able to make the goal line save, and all of a sudden, the Seagulls have completely taken control of this game 3-0.
Being able to get a good save right there, but unfortunately the ball falls right into the hands of Jorgen, who catches Fragrance. A little bit awkward, puts the ball behind him, and Drax going for the bump for some extra measure, trying to secure that goal.
Jorgen uncontested on the kickoff is something you don't see every day. He goes for that shot. He's not going to miss it, but Drax is going to be there on the follow-up. I have no idea what's happened to the communication of either team, but the Seagulls have it on lock right now.
The Hydras are going to need a little bit more pep in their step if they want to get back into this, especially going into Game 2. Even going down here in Game 1, going into Game 2, they're going to want to be a little bit more aggressive, match the Seagulls and match their playstyle currently, because they're able to kind of just capitalize on all this open space and mistakes that the Hydras are letting off.
Absolutely, that one might not be a mistake though, as Fragrance goes for the shot. And with this slight little lull in play, I want to ask you, Debbie, as you say, Expert is your bread and butter. I kind of want to ask now, if you're in that Hydras Discord, right, and you're 4-0 down with only 2 minutes played in the first game of a game that's going to either send you to playoffs or knock you out of it. What are those comms like? What's the conversations that are happening between KJ and Fragrance right now as they go potentially 5 down, and they do? What is going through their heads right now?
I'm sure there is at least some level of panic. but you can't resolve to just panic right now. You have to stay resilient. In this game, there's still 2 minutes left, and yes, there's a 5-goal lead, but that doesn't mean that you guys are down and out for the series. You guys need to get some momentum going, start changing the play style,
KJ?
because KJ right there. As
There
I'm
we go.
speaking, they bring it into existence right here. KJ catching the Seagulls on a little bit of a double commit right there and just putting a easy shot on net.
Yeah, it's an absolutely, it's a wonderful shot into the right-hand post and completely away from where the Seagulls were, but a little bit of miscommunication coming out from the Seagulls there, which we haven't really seen for the rest of this game, so we'll see if that maybe is a turning point in this game as KJ makes the save. Fragrance is up to try and get that one in the air, but misses wide right, and now Drax is going to be able to bring this one away. He wants to get it past KJ, but KJ says no. He keeps this ball in Seagull's territory. Now Jorgen trying to bring this one through. Drax going back into goal, knowing that if Jorgen makes a mistake, then there could be dire consequences, and there is, just as I say it. Fragrance plays that one over the top of the defensive Drax. Unfortunately, Jorgen not able to get it past the Hydra's defense, and they play on the midfield, and it pays off for them. 5-2. Debbie, stranger things have happened.
Stranger things most certainly have happened, and it isn't too far-fetched to say maybe we have a comeback on our hands. There's still plenty of times, and with those 2 goals in such rapid succession, if they can find a third one here, you can
Oh.
definitely say they have a chance.
Yeah, Fragrance trying to capitalize on that chance, but now it's a Seagulls 2v1. Fragrance is up, trying to get this one off the back wall, and he is able to. Not a save, so it wasn't on target, but still needed to do something with that ball in the end. Jorgen plays this one in midfield. KJ is going to win that one over the top of him, and for a minute the Hydras have a bit of a 2v1, but they're not going to be able to capitalize. Fragrance plays that one back into the middle, but Jorgen's going to be there with the save, and now he brings this one on the wall. Lovely pinch from him, plays it off the top wall. Difficult to read for KJ, but he is able to do so. That one's going to drop right in front of the Hydras net. Are they going to be able to save it? They're not! Drax is able to convert off the wonderful pinch from Jorgen. KJ couldn't quite get it away in time, and Drax with the 50 win against KJ. He couldn't do anything to make the save, and it's 6-2 now in the favor of the Seagulls.
And that's not one that you want to let slip in, but the Hydras can still keep their hopes and spirits alive. You know, they've scored a couple of goals. If they can score another one here, they can go into game 2 with a little bit more momentum here, and they just might. But Drax was able to get it in the way.
Yeah, Fragrance with definitely an opportunity there, but not one that he has been able to take, and KJ says, not in my house. He sends Jorgen to the Shadow Realm, and now it looks like the Seagulls might have a little bit of trouble to try and get this one back. Fragrance needs to play this one over the top of Drax. He just can't get the touch on the ball. If he got a little bit more purchase on it, maybe he would have been able to convert that one into a goal. But KJ is going to be able to convert that one into a goal. Jorgen flies straight over the top of the ball. I think he forgot to hit it. He just kind of was flying in no man's land, and now all of a sudden the Hydras are back within 3.
Yeah, this is how you bounce back in a series if you're the Hydras. Like I was mentioning earlier, get some momentum going your way. Yeah, even if this game is chalked and you might walk away with a loss, you're still gonna go into game 2 with that momentum. And this shift in play style seems to be working against the Seagulls.
Okay. He might be able to convert one more, and he does. Okay, so it looks like it's going to finish as a Seagulls victory, 6-4, with 3 seconds left on the clock. And at one point, this looked like it could get completely out of hand. So those communication issues we talked about earlier aren't really going to play a factor anymore, because the Hydras kind of have their tails up. They know they can get goals past this Seagulls defense, and KJ may be going to try and get one more. He's not going to be able to do so. That ball drops and the Seagulls do win, which we did expect from early in the game, but a really interesting kind of end to the game with the Hydras really coming back and owning most of that second 2 minutes and a half.
Oh, 100%. It started off with the Seagulls firing on all cylinders, scoring all the goals in the world, but the Hydras were able to adapt and react to that playstyle and started making changes themselves, and then we started to see them really come alive here. KJ especially, securing a few goals and cutting down that lead to 2 goals. And I think that's definitely going to be some momentum they're bringing forward into game 2.
Absolutely, and we often talk on casting desks and all that kind of stuff about momentum and what that does to a team. But when you're in that game, Debbie, you can speak from experience. Like, how are the Hydras going to be responding to getting 4 goals within that last 2 minutes?
Oh, they're definitely sitting there. Hey, they're sitting there saying, "Hey, you know what? We made a few mistakes earlier, and it cost us that game 1, but we're not going to make those same mistakes again. We scored 4 goals in half the game and held the Seagulls down to, I believe they only scored 1 or 2 goals there in that in that second half. So
Yep.
so if you're looking at it that way, you could, if you're the Hydras, you're saying, you know what, we outscored them once we started playing our own game and feeling more comfortable and relaxed. You know, the nerves and tensions might be high, but they got to remain resilient.
Absolutely, and I've got to say it's going to be interesting to see how the Seagulls respond to that second half of that game as well, because they kind of started getting played at that point. Oh my goodness, a crazy double tap coming out from Drax. If that had gone in, I don't know what I'd have done, but it didn't. And now the Hydras are in control. Fragrance is going to read that one off the wall, but Drax is going to be there with the save. Fragrance chasing Drax down, maybe looking for the demo, but not going to be able to find it. Drax is up in the air. He's going to try and play this one off the wall. It's a wonderful aerial dribble from Drax, and he gets it over the top of KJ, unable to read that one. Well, that's how you respond.
Oh yeah, and KJ here with the card change. I'm hoping it pays a little bit of dividends, but unfortunately it worked against him right there, as he wasn't able to get the read against Drax and get the save. Now the Seagulls have a 1-goal lead.
Oh no, it's a 2-goal lead. Nope, that's a rough kickoff for KJ for sure. He did not want that to go that way, but Jorgen actually being a little bit late to the kickoff there worked in his favor, didn't it, Debbie?
Oh, absolutely, and I think KJ might need to change back to that Fennec that he was rocking in game 1 and seemed to be working.
It did. Well, towards the end it did, but I can understand the car change based on the start. But once again, we've seen the Seagulls take control right at the start of the game, and now Fragrance is trying to get that one over the top of Jorgen, but Jorgen's not going to allow it. Jorgen passes into Drax. That's a brilliant save from Fragrance, though. Now the Hydras have a bit of a counter-attack. KJ trying to play this one over the back line, but he's also played it over the goal, and now Jorgen is going to try and get control of this ball. He plays it forwards, going for that little aerial dribble, able to bring it down, but not quite in a way that he wanted to, and now KJ is going to fire that one into the left-hand side. He reads it off that side, but Drax is going to be able to make the save and bring it back. Fragrance probably wants to keep this one in Seagull's territory, but he's unable to do so. Jorgen with the absolute body onto Fragrance, but unfortunately not able to convert that goal to make it 3, and now the Hydras might have a chance to counter-attack again. Fragrance. Jorgen not unable to read that one off the wall, and now that's the Hydras go signal. KJ playing that one over the top of Drax, winning that 50, but unfortunately not able to convert because Jorgen was back in a defensive position, and now it's a bit of a 2v1. Jorgen trying to flick that one over the top of Fragrance. Great save from him. Reads it really nicely, and now he wants to bring this one away, but Drax is going to make it there first. Jorgen's going to get there before KJ, and that's going to convert another goal for the Seagulls. Wonderful work from Drax, keeping the ball alive on that right-hand side. Jorgen just about beating KJ to the punch, and that's going to do it for 3.
Yeah, and it seems like the Hydras aren't able to play their game right now. You know, like you were mentioning earlier, that the Seagulls, what kind of response are they gonna have? And it looks like we're seeing it right here. They decided we're tired of playing defense. We're just gonna keep it on the Hydras half and make sure that they're awkward.
Yeah, and that's another thing we often talk about is pressure, right? Seagulls have a lot of pressure on these Hydras right now, but KJ's going to try and form some pressure of his own. Jorgen is there with the save, though. Really nice from him, and now Fragrance is going to read that one off the wall, and he does. KJ is just about there in front of Drax, but Drax in a good enough position to be able to save that, and now he wants to bring this one in the middle, but KJ says absolutely not. He sends Jorgen back to his side of the map, says see you later. And now it's a bit of a scrap in the midfield to try and get control of this ball. Jorgen flings that one into the side of the goal. It's not quite going to go in, and KJ's able to play it over an oncoming Drax. What a goal line save from the Hydras, and they're able to bring this ball away now, but they are completely under the cosh. They're really, really struggling to get control of this ball, get any possession whatsoever, and Fragrance now looking to do that. Not going to do it by completely missing the ball there, unfortunately. Tactical whiffs are at large here in the FDL, and Drax now trying to do something here. Fragrance just about does that 50. Drax now trying to get his car into a position where it can shoot. unable to do so, and the Hydras are going to be able to bring this one away now. KJ and Fragrance fighting for that boost a little bit, but KJ's going to come away with it, and now he needs to try and keep the ball in the Seagulls' half for at least a little bit. Fragrance going to play that one off the ceiling. Can KJ read it? He can! When asked if KJ can, of course he can. And he brings the deficit down to a 2-goal disadvantage for the Hydras. But 1 minute 42 still to play, KJ. KJ? Debbie? Oh my god, sorry.
I know we've been teammates before.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
But yeah, and KJ's been this absolute deadly offensive threat for the Hydra so far, proving to put on a lot of offensive pressure and put shots on target for them. I'm looking to see if Fragrance maybe can start getting on the scoreboard here, him being the higher Sal.
Yeah, absolutely. We do need to see a little bit more from Fragrance if the Hydras are able to turn this one around. But KJ is absolutely doing his best to try and make sure that this game goes right down to the wire. And with 1 minute and 11, this game is still up in the air a little bit. KJ in defense. He wants to bring this one forwards now. Jorgen has been able to get some boost though, and he's going to try and intercept. He is not quite able to do so, but he is able to completely take KJ out the server and send him back. But KJ is going to spawn right with a lovely little boost pad for him. And maybe the Hydras can get some possession now. Jorgen, that is a wonderful touch though, sending that one back towards the Hydras net. Almost an own goal from Fragrance. Be very, very careful with those kind of hits. Drax wins the ball in midfield for the Seagulls, and Fragrance is going to miss that one in the air. It's now a free net for Jorgen, and it's got to be said, that's a mistake from Fragrance in the midfield that KJ really thought he was going to be able to hit, and unfortunately just wasn't able to. Jorgen had a free net, and he's not going to miss those.
Yeah, and that's just unfortunate coming out from the Hydras. It looks like they were starting to win this possession battle and really get a lot more time and space with the ball. And the fact that that little mistake comes out and is able to kill this momentum is a little bit unfortunate for the Hydras as Drax and Jorgen
nice shot.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
KJ.
Yeah, we've been a little bit stunned by that one. An 80km/h goal into the top left-hand corner. You don't get much more top bins than that. And 2 goals in 16 seconds. It's a lot to ask this Hydras team, but every single time we start counting them out, they come back with something new, Debbie.
Yeah, it seems like they enjoy being a little bit down here. Maybe it's their motivation, but they are gonna have to perform some miracles here if they want to walk away with this win. But unfortunately, time runs out, and they're gonna find themselves down 2 games in this series. They're gonna have to reverse sweep now if they hope to take this series and make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, miracles do not exist, kids. That is something you need to teach your children from a very, very young age. But it has to be said again, the kind of late game resurgence led to the Hydras really starting to pick it up. And if they can convert that into early game, dominance and pressure, could we be talking about a game 4 and maybe even a game 5, Debbie?
Oh, absolutely. And I think one thing that'll help the Hydras get there is changing up their offensive attacks, because it seems like a lot of times they begin their attacks with these dribbles, either one, Fragrance or KJ, starting off these dribbles, and Jorgen is just having none of it. And
No.
he's just going for those demos, going for those early 50s, and he's not giving them the time and space to do that anymore. And I think they're gonna have to get a little bit more creative, maybe some backboard passes, some infield passes, and catch them off guard.
Yeah, and that's kind of the problem with playing the way that they are, right? Is that you kind of invite pressure onto yourself when you play that way. Yes, it looks amazing when it works, but it kind of has to work in order for that pressure not to be put on your goal, right?
Absolutely.
Well,
They they cannot be giving up any offensive pressure or possession that they have just off of an easy challenge for the Seagulls.
yeah, we will see if the Hydras do indeed make a change to their playstyle, or if we see a Seagulls 3-0 sweep. Not what we would want to see, and I think that would be very, very harsh on the Hydras, who have been more than game this entire series so far. But we will see. Fragrance sends that one up right above his goal line. That is not where you want to be hitting that ball in the slightest. And the rough series continues for Fragrance.
Yeah, just an unfortunate touch. I think maybe the way he flipped killed his momentum and just sent that ball right there above his net, and Drax was able to put an easy one away.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Seagulls, once again in this series, take a 1-0 advantage, and they might be able to convert it into 2 straight off the bat, but KJ's there with a brilliant retreating save, trying to do all he can to keep the Hydras in this game, but it is proving to be an uphill battle. Fragrance wins that 50 though, and he might be able to convert this one. He does. So Fragrance scores. The Hydras are level. This is the first time the Hydras have really been level this game other than 0-0.
Yeah, Fragrance able to beat Jorgen off of that challenge right there. Drax was just, you know, aggressively positioned, assuming that Jorgen would at least get a touch on that ball there. And Fragrance actually was looking for a second touch, you know,
He
a little
was,
delayed
yeah.
shot action. Doesn't get contact, but luckily for him, the ball still floated in. And
No, don't do my boy like that. He absolutely meant the shot off the side wall. I have no idea what you're talking about, but yeah. All intentional. But anyway, we will see how this game develops now with teams level for the first time in the series. So KJ's going to play this one back into the middle. Fragrance isn't too happy with where that position, so he's going to start retreating, plays it back over the top of Jorgen, but Drax is going to pick up the piece. He now wants to play this one into the middle, but Jorgen's gone to pick up Boost. He is nowhere to be seen, so there's no player to tap that ball in. Fragrance going to hit that one over both KJ and Drax. Says, don't worry teammate, I got this. And KJ now with the stop, it's not going to do what he wants to do. Drax gets it over the top of him, and Jorgen is there to convert. And that's what we go back to, right, Debbie? You know, we're talking about KJ and Fragrance trying to play out, trying to get that kind of dribbling going. If KJ hits that just away, that goal doesn't happen.
Yeah, a little front flick action right there, and that ball's downfield with the Fragrance sitting over near center field already. I believe off of his challenge, and he could have been an easy counter attack, like the Seagulls are just doing right now to the Hydras there. KJ getting aggressive here, looking for that offensive pressure, and instead Drax wins the 50, and Fragrance isn't there back in time because of the offensive possession that the Hydras are trying to keep right now.
Yeah, and this is where it gets difficult, right? Because the Hydras, they know that they're two games down in the series. They know if they lose one more, they're done. They are not going to playoffs. The Seagulls are. So expect to see quite a few double commits, quite a few, you know, offensive plays coming out from this Hydras team, but that does open the door to counterattacks and to other plays from the Seagulls, able to convert defense into offense. But right now, the Seagulls have control in their own half, and Jorgen's going to win that one, but KJ with the massive block comes up big, and now he tries to find Fragrance in the middle, but that ball's just a little bit too heavy for Fragrance to get on the end of. But he is able to find the hit from Jorgen as the Seagulls now start to swarm down this right-hand side. Jorgen trying to find that one into the middle, trying to find Drax. Drax trying to get it down over the top of the crossbar, but actually hits the crossbar in the end. And now a little bit of a miscommunication from the Hydras. They both went for that ball, and neither of them seem to get too much purchase on it. And that ball is going to find its way into the top left-hand corner from Drax. Wonderful shot from him. The ball flies up. It looks like both Seagulls are actually going for that as well. And Jorgen almost plays Drax into the ball to make it 4-1 to the Seagulls.
Yeah, and half the game remaining here in game 3, and we've seen time and time again the Hydra's second half resurgence where they begin to come back. This time they already have a goal on their side, so it could be possible with the way they've been playing this series that maybe they're able to walk away with a win finally and you know, take us to a game 4.
Yeah.
They're definitely gonna have to relieve some of this Seagulls pressure right here.
They
Drax almost with a second touch there, putting it past the.
Yeah, but it just seems like this Seagulls pressure
Jorgen?
will not relent. Jorgen really tried to take that shot there, and then Drax on the follow-up, unable to convert that one either. And now the Hydras just need to get this ball downfield, and KJ is going to be able to do that. Drax is in net, but at least the ball is in the Seagulls territory for a minute or two. Drax with a nice little flick, but KJ is going to be there with the boost to be able to get rid of this ball. And now Fragrance is going to be on cleanup. He sends this one back towards midfield. gets it past Drax as well. And Drax is kind of in a little bit of a sticky situation. He doesn't want to go for that 50. He knows Jorgen's not back. But he also doesn't want to sit back in net and give the Hydras free reign. So he does exactly what he should have done there. Played it really, really well. And now the Seagulls have their control again. Fragrance able to steal that boost away from Jorgen, and that could come back to bite the Seagulls. Fragrance now brings this one forward. He plays it over the top of Drax, and he goes into the middle of the right net. Right, Debbie. Here is the situation. 2 goals the Hydras need to find in the next minute and 2 seconds if they are to keep their season alive. The Seagulls need to prevent that from happening. What is going to happen in this next minute and 2, do you think, right now?
I think the Hydras score one. The Seagulls starting to get a little bit nervous.
Oh, they do.
They
They
do.
do score one. He's
score
good,
one.
you know. He's good. Hey, can I have the lottery numbers for next week? That would be great. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that. Absolutely crazy from KJ. Wins the kickoff and plays it off the sidewall. Seagulls might be a little bit shell-shocked after that. They're still a goal up, but there's 55 seconds left on the clock, and Jorgen is going to absolutely send Fragrance back to spawn with that one. As we start getting into crunch time now for both of these teams. KJ wanted to hit that one, but Jorgen's now able to read it and bring it back towards the Hydra's net. Drax is going to be able to read that one, but that's high above the goal. He now wants to be able to convert this one. Flick it over the top of KJ. He does, but that's going to miss higher the goal as well. If the Seagulls would have been able to convert that, I would have said this game is done, but has not happened. Fragrance going for the demo play on Drax. He's not able to find it. KJ also not going for that 50 in the midfield. It leads me to believe that there was a bit of a miscommunication from the Hydras. Now, Fragrance sends Jorgen to the Shadow Realm, and now he wants to play that one over the top of Drax, but Drax with the massive 50 in the midfield. That could be a playoff clutching 50 from him, as KJ gets the demo though. Fragrance needs to play this one forwards, and he needs to play it now. They need to keep it up. Fragrance, he's going to try and keep it up in the corner. Drax tries to play that one on the ground, but he's not able to. Fragrance now needs to find KJ. Can he find KJ? He gets it up. Oh my goodness, the cricket doesn't quite go in. Fragrance is able to keep it alive though. KJ needs to find some kind of purchase on the ground. He needs to be able to keep this ball up, but he's not able to do so. They had a chance, they had a shot, but unfortunately it wasn't enough, and the Seagulls sweep this series 3-0.
Wow, and what an ending right there. Straight up a nail biter.
Doesn't
That
get
ball
close enough,
not
though.
touching the ground. Oh
No.
my gosh, that had my heart racing right there.
Yeah, that honestly, I don't think I would have been able to cast any more if that one had gone in. Oh my goodness. But as we say, so the Seagulls are able to sweep the Hydras in their final game of the season. We need to remind you that that game was for playoffs. The winner of that game, which now we know is the Seagulls, goes straight to playoffs. So congratulations to the Seagulls. They have clutched playoffs, but we need to talk real quick about those Hydras because they did not go away. That game was much closer than a sweep.
Yeah, and it looked like, the Hydras time and time again with with about half of the game remaining, they would come alive and start scoring a few goals, and really making the Seagulls work for it. And it was exciting to watch, but I really wish the Hydras were able to squeeze out a game 4 or game
Oh.
5 because they definitely had some fight.
Dude, I want to see like oftentimes you'll see like sports teams, right? And you'll just say, "Oh, play forever. This game is so good." That was one of those games. I just wanted to see that game go on as long as possible. Those two teams going at it was so fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely. And seeing KJ come alive and score a lot of goals there for the Hydras team, that was pretty remarkable with him being the lower cell on the team, able to make those plays. I think I'm hoping we see a little bit more of KJ going into next season or maybe All Stars.
Well, of course, we've got All Stars weekend next weekend. I believe this is the. Oh no, we do have some games tomorrow night, right, Debbie?
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay, so we will have tomorrow's games, and then next weekend we have All Stars. So there is lots of stuff still going on in FDL. Although it turns out that we might have some trouble getting our players into interview. Although we would love to speak to them, absolutely. But they seem to be having some problems right now. So we will see how that goes. But for now, it's worth talking about those Seagulls and exactly what that means, because we need to remember that this was actually the B lineup for the Seagulls, right? So they were on their B lineup in a game for playoffs. They're going to come with potentially even a stronger lineup next during the playoffs, Debbie.
Yeah, and that the A lineup from the Seagulls is nothing to scoff at. It's definitely deadly. We just saw what their B lineup was capable of. And speaking of which, we have the Seagulls here. How are you boys feeling?
Amazing. Let's go. I
Screaming.
think we clinched off of this game as well, which is pretty cool. So
Oh yes, that is all we've been talking about. So you are officially in playoffs
yes,
uh,
sir.
after going 5-5 in the regular season. I mean, that must feel good, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh my
100%.
god, bro, it feels so good.
I thought we were done halfway through the season, but we gave a fight and we're back in playoffs now.
You gave a fight and you were given a fight tonight. We have to briefly talk about those Hydras because they had some pretty insane comebacks in a few of those games. I mean, talk me through the last 10 seconds of that last game, because that
Oh
ball was
man.
kept up for way longer than you wanted it to, I'm sure.
We tried to clear it as soon as possible, but they just got lucky. And yeah, I mean, thank God we were able to put it down because that's how we won the series, obviously. But yeah, they're a really strong team.
They
So
kept it close to us. We would just we seemed to hold the lead in the beginning pretty strong, and then they would just come back at the end, and then we would just manage. We just have to hold on to our momentum.
Absolutely. That is something that we talked about quite a lot, is that for the first half of every game, it seems like you guys were in control. And then for the second half of each game, do you want to kind of run us through what happened, what was going on in those comms? Because something changed and we weren't 100% sure on the casting booth. So maybe you guys can enlighten us what it was.
No comment. Everything I'm going to answer is going to be toxic.
Okay. Good to know, Drax. Anything that's not toxic would be ideal.
I mean, we kind of I don't know. See, I want to say something, but I don't know if it's gonna be controversial.
Then we will move on. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Drax,
All
for your
right.
comment. I appreciate it.
No problem.
At least we asked first.
Yeah, I appreciate the comment. I mean, so now we've got to talk about playoffs, right? Okay, so you guys are now in the wildcard spots for expert playoffs. I want to know from you boys, how far do you think this run goes?
I mean, I think we might be able to win just because
Whole
me
thing.
me and Jorgen as well as me and Reaper play really well together. And them too as well. I think we have a really solid roster all around, and yeah, we can definitely work some magic here.
We've been doing a lot of team practice, and it showed between last week and this week. I mean, we sweep back to back. So,
Mhm.
and we've just had nothing but we just keep getting better. So it's working out. So I think we have a chance to win this.
So team practice, is that something that you guys are gonna make a habit of in the next 2 weeks leading up to playoffs?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
We're gonna be grinding scrims, grinding practices together.
Okay, so the last thing I'm going to ask you before handing over to Debbie to see if he has any questions is there a message you want to send to expert playoffs teams specifically?
Penguins, specifically Penguins. I'm excited to play you guys. Tough team. We played them before, and honestly, probably the hardest team in my opinion to play against an expert.
I will attest to that. Penguins did really good when we played against them. They definitely made me feel like that I wasn't in this league. They're good, and I'm ready to face them again. I think we're on a way different level than we were at the beginning of the season.
Strong words from the Seagulls players. Debbie, you got anything for him?
Oh, absolutely. So, my first question that I wanted to present to you guys was right now the on the other side of the conference, the Monkeys and the Hornets are duking it out for the number 1 and the number 2 seed going into the Expert League. Now, with you guys getting the 3rd seed, that means that you guys will have to face the number 2 seed from Stealth. Do you guys have any preference as to who you guys would rather face, either the Monkeys or the Hornets?
For me, probably the Hornets.
It's probably the Hornets. Yeah.
Yeah.
And why is that?
So I know Ant. I've known Ant for a while, and he's a ones main, and I know how to counter his playstyle pretty well. So yeah, I think I would have an advantage. The monkeys are really good as well. So I'm afraid to play them. That's another team that I'm afraid to play.
I don't know much about the monkeys, so that's why I'm more or less wanting to face the Hornets because I have a little bit of an idea of their gameplay.
Okay, okay, those are perfect and fair responses right there. And you know, if you guys do find yourselves in the finals, I know you mentioned the Penguins, but if they're knocked out early, is there any other team you guys would want to face?
Probably Eagles.
Yeah, dude, I'd love to
Yeah,
face the
bro.
Eagles again.
My homie
Oh.
Tyler, bro. I see him in the Twitch chat.
The first game of the season was the most confusing because it was the Seagulls versus the Eagles. The casters kept getting the names wrong. We got to have it again.
And speaking of the Eagles, that was gonna lead me to my next question, considering that, the Eagles were one of the teams that beat you guys twice. And and it seems like you guys only mentioned the Penguins being a tough team. Like, did you guys find the Eagles to be a challenge at all?
I mean,
Both of our losses
yes.
had me a part of the team, and I think they're a challenging team. But I started the season at 1100 MMR, and I'm sitting at 1300, and I just keep getting better. So I think I'm solid for a B lineup, and me and Drax we vibe like butter.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's always good to hear some good team chemistry, especially going into such a challenging time, with the playoffs going on. So that's all the questions that I've got, Rhino, for these wonderful guys. And again, congratulations on your win tonight and securing playoffs.
Thank you, thank you.
Woo! Have a good
Very-
night.
Have a good
Very
night.
Well, with that